Hello, hello. Good afternoon. Today is March 14th, and we are Kristen and Rebecca. And we're happy that you are here to join us today on our podcast. So thank you for joining, and hopefully you'll stick around and hear all the news we have for you today.
That's right. And
first off, what is today?
Today is National Pie Day.
Yay. And just about 3 minutes ago was actually the Pie Minute at 1:59, but we weren't on yet, so we couldn't say that it was the Pie Minute. But yes. So do your children still sing that really annoying pie song?
I don't know. Which song is that?
I can't sing it, but it's like they sing all the numbers of pie.
Oh,
you don't remember they do? Oh my gosh, Mason sings that all the time still.
Nope.
Mason and Eva.
I have to defrag. When I sleep at night, it defrags my brain. Okay. I don't know if you still have to defragment computers, but that's the world I still live in.
That's good. So. I wish I could do that. So throughout the show, if you could tell us your favorite pie, I think it'll just be fun, to join in and let us know. I know mine is blueberry pie. Mm-hmm. I love blueberry pie. Do you have pie?
I like cherry.
Okay, there we go. We've got
blueberry.
We've got some classics right there. So let us know if you have your favorite pie and how you like to bake it, if you bake, or where you like to buy it from. So, but let's get on with the show.
All right, we'll start this Monday like we start off every Monday with the Monday Market Moment. All right, let's see what's happening in North Central Florida. So we'll start in Tampa today. All right, so we're looking for the month of March. It would be March 1st through the 14th. Oh, right, National Pie Day. We literally just talked about that. So they have active so far in the Tampa Hillsborough area, 261 new listings, with 544 that have pended in the first 14 days and 403 closed. That seems low to me. Usually I feel like they're in the
all
8s.
Of these numbers are low.
Yes.
So much for, new inventory coming on in March. Maybe we have to wait for that for April.
I think you're going to see that there's just not new inventory to come on, honestly. But I hope I'm wrong.
But they're still pending, half of what we assumed would already be pending.
Right,
and they're still closing, and everybody is. It's just not quite as many as we thought.
Not as many. So over in Ocala and Marion County, you have 172 active so far for the month of March, 318 pending, and 207 closed. Mm-hmm. Again, those seem pretty low. For that
March
area, right? For March.
Mm-hmm.
Gainesville, 58 active since the month has started. Month of March, that is. Sorry, still warming up. I'm getting going. 145 pended and 107 closed. Time change.
There we go. We're early 1 o'clock in our brain.
At like 11 o'clock last night because he could not fall asleep. Yeah, so it was a long night.
Obviously,
seems super low. Mm-hmm. Not just in the new things coming on, but even in the closed. And I know I've talked to a few people who are like, I'm getting letters that I have, $200,000 in equity, but I can't sell because there's nowhere to go. So why would I list and sell? And I just think that's basically the vicious circle that we're in right now.
Right, but we have some great ways. I think you just have to be patient with buying and get your house ready with us. We can come in, get it ready. We can get those pictures taken. Then you can live comfortably. The most uncomfortable day I always tell the sellers is picture day.
Yep,
and it's even more uncomfortable than showing days. You want to look really good on showing days, but you want to look fantastic, superb, perfect as much as you can on picture day, because you're getting that video, that picture, the drone, all that footage that stays online,
right,
where people go and look at that. So
I always say it's 2-dimensional and showings are 3-dimensional. Mm-hmm. So they could see past, something on the counter, but in pictures they can't see past that.
And everybody's backed up. So like appraisers are backed up, surveyors are backed up, but even prior to listing, the photographers are backed up, especially the good ones. We really like a certain, photographer company, and we are not the photographers. We think that's, really cheaping out on your listing, but we hire a really phenomenal photography company out of Ocala that comes in and creates these videos that you see before and after our podcast, and then our pictures and everything. So we also have another one that's local that does really well as well. But you want to be ready for that. So we get that ready ahead of time, and then we start looking for your house, and then we can put it on the market. And because, for the most part, if you price it right, great house, you can probably get it under contract before, while you're under contract, and maybe even close the same day. But that's all conversations we have with you when we were listing you.
That is true.
And we're talking about pricing as well. Mm-hmm.
And we'll look over here in St. Augustine really quick. So remember, their MLS is different. So this is an all-time, right? So
I think these numbers are also a little off, right?
They are. Mm-hmm. They are. So we're only looking at the St. Augustine Beaches area. You've got 30 active with 22 pending and 16 closed so far for this year. So it's, there's just nothing to sell. I don't know what to tell you.
No, there are things to sell. You just have to be clever and, again, patient. So, it's out there. It's just very unique. And, as you can see, little by little with the 58 in Gainesville, Alachua area, and then the Tampa Hillsborough area, 261, which are I would say the normal lowest and the normal highest, not including that St. Augustine Beach area. So, we have a lot to deal with in terms of real estate. Yesterday we were at Gator Nationals. We'll talk a little bit about the sports this weekend next, right? But because we have some info from these non-sporty, sportscasters right here. But we'll get into that. But we're at Gator Nationals, and a guy started asking me. He's like, "You're killing it in real estate, aren't you?" And we actually had a local lender. I don't know if you saw Crystal Paget today post I
have not been on Facebook. I will get on Facebook.
It was a post about what realtors have to do to make the commission that we're making. Because right now, a lot of people want to see if we'll cut our commissions. Because there's a lot of competition out there, but the list of things that realtors have to do and have to deal with. And right now, sure, the great realtors are always killing it right now, but it's killing it with a lot of work. A lot of things that come up. We've talked about it all the time on this podcast too, right? From the insurance woes to the lack of inventory to even when houses go quickly, there's a lot that happens during that process of, what you have to do to make sure that those buyers can afford that home that's going 25 to 30,000, maybe sometimes 100,000 over. So there's a lot of little tricks of the trade that we've had to learn. And that word from last year, pivot, to understand and know how to get it sold correctly for your buyers and your sellers during this change in the market. But do you want to talk about the next one, or you want to talk about?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. And then we'll go to that, and we'll go back to the sports.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yep. Let's do the quick Zillow Gone Wild. So we saw this. This was kind of interesting. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, 196 square foot home in Santa Rosa Beach, listed for just over $1 million. We've got the page that you can go to see it, Zillow Gone Wild. That's insane to me.
It's insane. So first, I do have to say, being Floridians, we didn't even know where Santa Rosa Beach was. So we had to look it up. It's in the Panhandle. Beautiful area. I used to grow up going to the Panhandle. Absolutely gorgeous West Coast. And I wonder if this is one of those areas that was decimated by the most recent hurricanes. So I'm not sure, but that price is crazy for that size.
Right.
And then we looked it up on the map.
Yes.
And it's not even like seaside,
like
oceanside.
several blocks from the beach.
But it does have a pool.
It does have a pool. It has a little trough pool. You can actually see it in the little picture right there. So yeah, just kind of crazy. But anytime Florida you see pricing. Something like that, please tag us or send it over to us, because we love to look at real estate all over the place.
It is super cute, but it's so tiny.
I can't even imagine. I mean,
I'm not sure what they get the Airbnb off of that, or VRBO, or rental rate.
It's got to be, because
it's got to be insane.
Less than 200 square feet is pretty tiny. Mm-hmm. It's a tight little
it's really cute from the photos, but yes. Yeah. So we just want to share that because we think it's fun.
Funny.
Not something you would ever expect, but maybe Florida's becoming the new California.
Yay.
With the pricing.
Yay. Oh, yay. Okay. All right. So talk sports to
All
me.
right. Well, Tampa Bay had really big news this year. We don't have any, visuals for it. I'm sure a lot of you saw it online, but yesterday, Tom Brady, what did he do? He decided to come back to play.
He's playing football again. I
he
didn't
could
even
not
know
retire.
He stopped playing. No, I'm just joking. I did see that he retired.
So he's coming back to Tampa Bay, the Bucks. I don't know if Tampa's excited or not. Everybody I talked to seemed pretty excited.
They're all excited.
And pretty shocked. Like, of course he wasn't going to retire. This 44-year-old old man.
I know.
Everybody loves the GOAT. He is the GOAT, so.
It's that Tampa Bay lifestyle. It just rejuvenates
Maybe
you
that's
and
what it
makes you
is.
want to stay in the game.
I think he was just like, wait, I don't want to stop playing and retire. I want to, just have a lot of fun here.
I can't imagine not working, like retiring or whatever you want to call it.
I mean,
think
he
it would
could
be
have gone to like play baseball or basketball or something like some of these others.
Yeah, I guess. But it would be scary to be like, I'm going to give up the only thing I know how to do. I mean, I think he would be bored and like, what's he going to do? Just sit at his house and go make paperclip runs to Office Max or...
I don't know. I would think golf all day and
I
beautiful
think he would
Tampa
get
Bay.
bored.
He'd probably
did
get
that
bored.
for 2 months and
He'd
clearly
probably get
it didn't
bored.
work.
I'm sure we'll hear more about why he's not retiring. Maybe some of you already know and can fill us in. We haven't really followed up with that, but I thought that was pretty funny.
I don't blame him. I would know what to do with myself if I didn't work.
Yeah, I was hanging out with some Tampa peeps yesterday, and they were just like, "What? This is
Everybody that I
crazy."
know from Tampa is super excited. Yeah. They're glad he's... Actually, I should say, most of them did not believe him when he said he was retiring.
Everybody thought this is really early April Fool's joke, but we're still in March.
Actually,
so
he should have waited closer to April to announce it.
But that would have been a fool. Yeah, like March 31st.
I did just get an idea for April Fools.
That's true. I was teasing when I said that, but I mean, for football, 44 is pretty old, so not for us.
I know.
Right?
I would
44
never
is
say
not old at all, Carrie.
Carrie, I can't believe she said that. I feel your pain.
Yeah. But for football player, I think that's rock. But he must have. I mean, he probably takes care of himself really well. I mean, not all the football players do, but he's tall and lanky and skinny, and he probably eats right and drinks a lot of water and works out correctly.
I would bet you could find his diet and exercise routine online if you looked.
Probably everything.
Interviewed him.
You can Google pretty much everything right now.
I know.
All right, so we'll step out of Tampa and come back to Gainesville. Do you know the big news that happened this weekend?
I don't know. What is it?
So Mike White, the basketball coach, decided to, I think it was like he knew he was going to get fired. I'm surprised they didn't fire him when we didn't make it to the tournament. But he decided to step away and go to Georgia, which I've read very little about it, had some conversations with people who actually care more about this than I do, but I mean, I still like it. And it's still interesting. I'm just not like on it every day. But basically, it was the best thing for him to do because he knew he was leaving, and everyone was really upset with his performance. But the University of Georgia lost their coach. I think they fired their coach, and so they were in desperate need. So it's kind of the best for both. And I think you talked to me about how much money. No, it wasn't you.
Definitely not me.
Yeah, she didn't care enough. But, some people were wondering, like, how much do we have to pay him? Well, apparently Georgia's paying Florida for him because he has about 7 more years.
I did hear something on the news about his contract. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It sucks for basketball fans.
Not a lot to say from Rebecca, but yes.
It's very important to me that the Gators do well because they are what bring people into this area. So I do have a vested interest in the Gators doing well. I do not follow the sports. I do enjoy going to games and stuff from time to time.
Yeah, the games are phenomenal. They're really exciting to watch. But they're not. They're exciting to watch. Even if you lose, but it just stinks when you lose and you're at, in the Gator Nation and you're walking out and,
I'm a good girl. I just stare at the court until it's over and pretend like I know what's happening and cheer when everybody else cheers and I sit down when everybody else sits down.
Yeah. Well, the third thing was Gator Nationals was this weekend and, a lot of people came from all over despite, inflation and despite, high gas prices. I saw the stands were...
You just turned into a Minnesotian for a second there. Gas prices.
I hung out with some Alaskans and they brought Alaskan snow crabs. It was amazing. These crab legs were like, I don't know, this is the fish hand. Wait, I got to get over here.
It was this
big, but it was huge. So they were pretty tasty. I also learned a new way to open, the larger piece of the crab leg.
Right.
Oh, this is the Alaska one. Everybody's going to make fun of me, but you just sort of play with the tip. And then you take it and you hit the meat out. I've never done that. We've always broken it in the middle. So, yeah.
Oh my God.
But that's literally what the Alaskans told me, and I watched them do it. You're just like everybody this weekend when I was explaining it to them. Yes, you just break it open a little bit, not in the middle, because they have the hard spikes, so you can't do that with your hands. So you just sort of open the end of it where it's you've broken off the other pieces. And then you take the piece and you hit your hand with it and it just pops out. I've never seen that before, but the Alaskans showed me and it was phenomenal. So the piece of meat was, a good 5 inches. This is going the wrong direction. Anyways, what I was going to say was that Tony Stewart of NASCAR, he actually did get a win. It wasn't with Leah, his wife, who drives the Top Fuel, but it was with Hagen. So he, after 3 years of racing, has his first win. So congratulations, Tony Stewart. He's an NHRA winner and a NASCAR winner. Yes, Carrie, that went the wrong direction. So we're going to take a break now, and we'll be back for real estate news, not Alaskan snow crab.
If you're looking to step back in time to old Florida living with park benches and oak tree moss swaying above your head, look no further than the town of Micanopy. 20 minutes south of Gainesville, the town of Micanopy boasts quaint antique stores and a rich history. The town was named for a Seminole Indian chief, Micanopy. Today, you can visit over 39 sites listed on the National Registry of Historic Places in Micanopy, one of which houses Native American artifacts from the time of Chief Micanopy. Fast forward a few years and visit the Greek Revival colonial home built in 1845, the Herlong Mansion Bed and Breakfast. It welcomes guests with southern comforts like a second-floor porch swing bed and 3-course breakfast served every morning. An easy day trip or an overnight weekend visit will leave you relishing the old Florida lifestyle. Visit buysellrebell.com to find your Micanopy home.
All right, we're back. If you stayed with us. Well, now we're going to talk about real estate.
Thank God, please.
Which, the market and what we're seeing and what we're hearing and what we're reading. So what's your latest news?
You got to give me the article because all I can think about is snow crab legs. All right. What did I send you? I don't even remember. Basically what to expect. It was the market forecast. That's right. This is a real estate podcast. Right. Market forecast for 2022. And basically the first one starts off with exactly what we've all been discussing, that mortgage rates will increase, which we have been seeing happen, not as high or as fast as predicted. Right. So we're like I think the last person I talked to with the high rate was 4.01. So not even barely over 4%. And, so when you talk about these rates going higher, and we remember them in the 2s and 3s, and I feel like we've had this conversation a million times. I'm not sure on the podcast, probably, but that's not really that high. It does knock a couple of people out of the affordability where they were, but it really doesn't knock people completely out of purchasing. So we don't see how that's affecting us in real estate anymore. And do you have any more comments on that? No. It's going a lot slower than what they were predicting, or I think what the news media does is really put that fear out with people, that scare, the rates are going to rise and you're going to be knocked out. That would be if it's 7%, I think. Anything over 6% would be a huge difference. So, right, but that's not going to happen tomorrow. That will happen through time. And that's a correction in the market. So it's something that you have to expect. This free money has been out for a long time. That's true. Very true.
So here we are, changing the world.
When we were getting ready for the show, it was really hard to find things that were kind of positive about the market. There's a lot of great things about the real estate market, but most of what's put out there, unfortunately, is on the more alarmist or negative side.
Right.
Prediction number 2, I'm the most excited about. Home price growth may return to normalcy. Right. Now, what does that mean to people? Normalcy would be along the lines of not seeing such a rapid increase. There was an article out last week where Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and all of them basically agreed, not necessarily with what Zillow said. Zillow was predicting a 38% increase in home values over a 12-month period. They were saying it would be more like 11%, which is still
it's
really
high, but way less than what they were predicting. Right. And other predictions were 22%. So 11% is a lot nicer of a rise in value. And a more normal rise in value than where we were. I think 4% is actually 4 to 6 is the most normal.
Is the normal.
So if we can get back to that, that means, that would keep our affordability, in a place where all of us can help, can feel at ease buying more and selling more.
That's right.
So.
Prediction number 3, to expect near-term bidding wars. I heard an interesting, and I wish I could remember who said this, and maybe you were with me and you'll remember, but it's hard because all we do is eat, sleep, and breathe real estate. But somebody told me that list price was the starting price.
Yes.
And I definitely think that's true. So people basically are going to be close. You're going to be close to what the list price is. In many circumstances. I know there are some times when you're going to be way over, but typically you're going to be close to it.
What I see is that they're just repeating what we've experienced in the real estate world. If you haven't sold and you've just heard the news, or if you've sold or bought, or you're in real estate in some sort of industry, you already know what's going on. So this is just a repeat of what we've already been experiencing. And it's so funny. What I find is that I'll start talking to somebody, especially out of the area, and they're like, my area is just on fire. And it's pretty much all the areas, but Florida is one of the bigger areas because people are coming in. But I was just talking with somebody who they were selling their home in Kansas and buying in either North or South Dakota, and they were shocked by how fast. Well, that's where they live. They're from Tampa, but that's where they live. And the husband, moved there for a job about 4 years ago, and they made almost 150 more than what they bought it for in Kansas. Right? This isn't Florida. It's Kansas.
Which has no beach, just so everybody's clear.
A lot of corn there, probably some tornadoes.
I can't even imagine. I just imagine that Kansas looks like what I imagine it looks like in the movies.
Midwest, right. And they're moving to, again, one of the Dakotas, and there they can't find a house. There are multiple bids there.
Because
so
there's
it's
probably only 2 in the state.
Everywhere. So this is not just in our area. It's not just, and they're all like, oh, Tampa's crazy. Tampa, again, is the top place. We've been reading it. We've been talking about it, to move to invest in, to do everything in because of the beauty of it. So, what you're seeing, it's also still very affordable compared to a lot of other areas. So that's why people are moving in there, and it's a beautiful place to live. Again, with Florida is still affordable compared to, say, California, or you're moving from New York City or a larger city down to Florida. It's still more affordable. So the bidding wars are going to continue to happen in houses that are priced right and that are in price ranges that make sense to most people, especially in whatever area you're in. So let's go to number 4.
The market will still be tough for buyers. It will be hard on buyers. I think that's just because there's just more demand than there are homes to sell or inventory. Yeah,
they were saying about the limited options. We should see a rise in homes being put on the market, but as we saw today, we're not seeing that rise. We're not seeing a huge amount.
That would be typical, but because people so you have your first time home buyers, and then you have your move up buyers and so on. But because they can't move up into a home easily without selling, and they're not putting their home on the market until they find that home, you're kind of going around and around and around and around.
I did read another article though, and again, a lot of our lives are reading other people's opinions or experiences, and we can talk about our experiences here in Gainesville, Florida, and through our agents in Tampa and St. Augustine and Ocala. But I was reading that people, now that the pandemic is not over, but past now that we're into war stories instead of pandemic stories on the news, they were predicting that there's going to be a lot more people who are putting their homes on the market now that they're, not fearful of one thing, again, COVID, and now that they want to get out of their houses and get out of the areas. So I don't know. It could be that we have a little bit more inventory, but we're not seeing that. Again, the numbers we showed this morning do not show higher numbers.
Well, maybe that's what prediction number 5 is that there will be wild cards, and it might be that people are starting to do those sorts of things. So, kind of an interesting little article on what to expect in 2022.
If you do have any questions, we do not mind you emailing us or calling us. You can call Kristen or Rebecca. We do have our personal cell phones, which we don't put on here, but you can find us online. Easy to find us. So we don't have them on there, but 352-213-6760 or
352-275-9900.
We've had these numbers for over 16 years, so always can find us wherever you find your number. Now, sometimes you're going to find our numbers online. It'll be the office or our team number if you want to talk directly to us about the market, about predictions, about selling your home. Give us a call and call those numbers and ask for us directly. So we'll be happy to answer your questions and talk to you more about real estate. We love talking about real estate. So if you just want to talk about real estate, call us. We'll be happy to have that conversation.
Yes, I like to talk on the phone while I drive. So you can just call me and I'll drive around. All right. So what's this one that you found?
Well, that was yours.
Oh, it was mine.
It's actually about the rent.
Oh, the rent control. Yes. Yeah. So
that is such a big topic. We could probably continue to talk about it every week.
We have two really big topics, but yeah, we'll touch on this one. So basically, there's been a lot of discussion. This isn't the only article I've seen. I've seen a couple of articles where they start discussing rent control and how that would be good for everybody. I don't know that I agree with that. Actually, I don't agree with that. I'm sorry. You can come for me in the comments. That's fine. Because what happens when you take away the profit of being a landlord and basically just start putting the landlords in the red, because they are still going to have to adhere to safety and code violations and guidelines and keeping the property up. And now we have insurance issues that they're going to have to keep up and maintain. When you suck the profit out of doing something that is a lot of work and high risk, which owning property is high risk, people will just stop building, which does not help when you have a shortage of housing.
And actually, one of the articles I read, and it wasn't in Florida or California, it was in one of the Midwest states, that they were starting this rent control. Usually the bigger cities is where this starts. And it wasn't the pricing, it wasn't the pandemic, it wasn't anything like that, but people were just taking their properties off the market, off the rental market, and selling them. And so that takes away rentals. When you're taking away profit, that takes away potential rentals. And so, what is that doing? Causing lack of housing for people who need housing. So, that's where this conversation can get really deep, somewhat political, right?
Yeah, I haven't read anything about it in St. Augustine or Tampa News, but I have read a couple of opinion pieces in a few local newspapers in Gainesville. And I have no doubt that a commissioner will pick it up and run with it in Gainesville if given the opportunity. I think it would be a horrible mistake, much like the Renters' Rights Act, which is ongoing and full of complications right now. So, and all it did was add expense to the tenants who were already upset that rent prices were going up, along with their utility bills,
which went up regardless of updates that the owners made.
Correct.
So we'll get back to that another time. We are at the end of our show. We have a lot to say about it and a lot to talk about it. If you have any comments or questions about it, we'd love for you to comment, whether you're using our YouTube channel or our Facebook channel. You can always watch us after, make some comments, and we will either write you back, call you back, or address it on our next podcast. So thanks for joining us. Hope you'll see us next week. We'll be back. And
all right. So we do not have any rent controlled apartments currently, but if you have a house, apartment building, community that you would like us to take over and keep rented and leased for you, we are here for you. We will be your leasing agent, accountant, repair person, inspector, landlord, all of the above. You can call us at 352-213-6410 or my personal cell phone, 352-275-9900.
She gave a personal one for KNR Property Management. All right. Well, I don't know if you read about the number one sector in the job industry was real estate. So if you read that, and if you see that people are joining real estate every day and making some good money, why don't you give us a call and you can join our team where we help you grow your new real estate career, or you can come over as a realtor who's already done some business and just needs more support and not be on a team, or just talk to us about getting into real estate. We'd love to talk to you. You can call 352-559-8820 or call me at 352-213-6760. Or you could just email join@buyselrebell.com. One of us will answer and we will get you in.
I love that we're giving out our numbers. It's so fun. All right. So if you can't get enough or you want to keep the discussion going, you can connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Google+.
You're really good at that. Thank you. Subscribe.
It's like a game of memory every time.
Watch our other shows, right? Subscribe to our YouTube page. And did you know we have a blog? We actually have a really great new blog recently about Turkey Creek and the golf course. So come on, read our blogs. They also usually follow our conversations from the podcast, but also what's going on in the areas we service. You can find us at buysellrebell.com/blog.
And we would like to thank the Fiesta Media for putting on this podcast and all of the other 75 podcasts that we have put on. Thank you so much. And if you are interested in your own podcast, you can reach them at 352-327-5089.
All right. And even though next week is spring break for Alachua County School System, and we might be on, I know I'll be on spring break. Rebecca might too. Right.
Yep.
Kristen and Rebecca podcast, actually the Rabell Realty Group podcast, we will still be airing on Monday at 2 p.m. So we'll see you then. Thank you for joining us. Bye.
Go get yourself some snow crab legs.